So I wasn't planning to make a video or anything like that today, but I was just thinking about this laying in bed, and I feel like it's necessary to make a video because, I rather regret not making it than making it. So yeah, I just want to talk about, oh, and preface, I do want to say that this video is in a more like serious tone. It's not meant to be sarcastic or corny or anything like that. Like, it's actually meant to be of help. Like, I actually want this video to make an impact, and if one person can take this video and take it in like a positive manner, then that's enough for me. And I feel like a lot of people can relate because COVID was a scary time for everyone, and COVID was a time where we didn't know what was happening. And I just remember, like, I would have no purpose. I would stay up late and I would play games. I'd literally had like a crippling like Call of Duty Warzone addiction. It was pretty bad, and like I haven't touched Warzone in like a serious way like that since. I don't know. I would like gaslight my brain into thinking like, oh, like, I'm about to go pro, like, you should keep playing, and I would just stay up endlessly, like, just playing Call of Duty, right? So I don't know where I'm going with this. Yeah, so that was like the last time I remember like having no purpose. And then I picked up a camera, and I just remember like the urge like to like want to be like the best photographer ever, and like it just kept making me want to get better and better at it. You and me both, I feel like we're both in this together, because I feel like, sometimes we might not know like what the fuck we're doing, but I feel like, it's important to take a step back and realize like how you started off, and like the reasons you started off doing what you were doing. And for example, I started going to the gym. A lot of people have like stories of, oh, like, it's not that deep to like, people say like, oh, like, the story of how you got into the gym doesn't matter, you just go to be healthy, right? But I do feel like for the majority of people, it's important to recognize, the reasons you started going to the gym, if it's corny or not, to help you keep going. Because a lot of times we forget, and that's including myself too. And sometimes you have days where you're just lazy, you just like, you half-ass your workout, you just like don't want to be there. And especially since I'm working out 4 times a week now instead of 5 to 6 days, it's supposed to help me with burnout. But sometimes I get really lazy and I just don't want to go. Maybe it's like raining outside, but yeah. So like, I want to go back into the point I was making with having an obsession, right? So I feel like a lot of people, they give up on their dreams way too early. Like, for example, I'm 19, right? I wouldn't say I'm old, but I wouldn't say like I'm super young, like prodigy young either. I feel like I'm in like the middle ground where, like, I'm an adult, but I'm also not like a kid or teenager, right? So as I was saying, I feel like when I was in my senior year of high school, I was like so delusional. I was like, oh, like, I'm gonna keep doing this photography thing until like it becomes like my job, so I don't have to go to college, right? But eventually, like, looking back, I feel like I gave up, and then I didn't have that original drive I did have before. I wanted to make content at the gym because I wanted to leave an impact. I'm gonna use myself as an example, right? So I'm gonna say my delusional goal. My delusional goal is to become a fitness influencer, or specifically fitness powerlifting influencer, right? I feel like when you settle, you kind of just like tell your brain, I'm not good enough to be at this level. Imagine there was a portal like right in front of you, right? And like, it was like the best version of yourself, and it came out like absolute like max prestige, right? And they walked out, and like it was like the alternate universe of what could have been, right? And people are saying like, oh, like, that should be motivation for you to get to that point, because why would you want to die like not knowing like what could have been? You know what I mean? That's what people always, like, for example, like relationships, you always think about what could have been, because then that's what makes people sad. Well, it's the same to dreams and goals too. You don't want to think about what could have been. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks to think about what could have been, but it's also like hard because, you know, it's not right in front of you, you know what I mean? But I truly believe that delusional dreams will keep you alive. Like, it's kind of like a hyperbole kind of, but it's also like what I truly believe, because it kind of just like sets the standard of like where you want to be, and it really like helps your work ethic, like, because you're not at that point, you want to get to that point, but like you don't know how, so you're gonna pave a way to that point. And that is from a David Lade I don't clip I just saw on TikTok. But yeah, so like when you settle, you're kind of just telling yourself, oh, like, I'm not good enough to get to that level, so I'm gonna settle. And then you get into like unhealthy habits, like not pursuing whatever you're doing. And I get it, like life gets in the way, people have work, people have school and stuff, but I truly believe that if you wanted something, you always make a way. For example, like you could be like, oh, since I'm a powerlifter, you can be like, oh, I want to be the best 82.5 kilo powerlifter there is, or Asian there is, you know what I mean? So really have that delusional goal, and people are gonna look at you weird. Don't get me wrong, people are gonna be like, yo, what the fuck? This guy can never be #1. You know what I mean? You gotta take that with a grain of salt. And don't, trust me, like I'm still doing that too. I have a really bad problem of taking everything to heart and taking everything personally, and I thought it would help me like get better, but it does kind of fuck up your mental and all that. So yeah, that will push you, by being delusional, it will push you to setting higher standards. So even if you don't meet that standard directly, the standard's so high that you'll still be doing better for yourself no matter what, right? Eventually it'll build up to this thing where it's like, oh, I haven't reached my full potential, however I did make it so far, you know what I mean? So yeah, thank you for listening to this video. If you want more long-form content like this, like, comment, subscribe. And if you guys have anything to add on, please leave it in the comments below. I'll respond to all of them because I have like no subscribers, right? So yeah, I'll see you guys. Peace.